Hola a todos, de este lado del micrófono les saluda como ya es costumbre Leo Moreno para el Depósito Sonoro y tenemos hoy la gran oportunidad de platicar nada más y nada menos que con Jack McEwan de los bollos pornopsicodélicos. And that is the name in Spanish for your band, Jack. Welcome and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me on. What was it in Spanish?
Bollos porno psicodélicos. That's, you know, a crumpet is like
That's sick.
bollo here, like a bread, of course, you know, like a little. So that's really cool because I was thinking that's one of the most original names I've heard before. So tell us briefly, what about the name, Jack?
Oh man, it came from a long history of strange weekends, but I think the Spanish version is better. I enjoy that more.
And your answer is awesome. You know, a strange weekend.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
that's great, man. It's great to have you back now in Mexico. You've been here before. What's your one of your fondest memory of being in Mexico, besides obviously the show and you know about being here in Mexico?
Man, we didn't really get a chance last time we were there because we did Hypnosis Festival, which was like
Yeah.
unbelievable. And I think when we actually stayed in Mexico City, we couldn't venture off too much because we were like quickly sort of like we had to do the shows. But I've had people go there and they're like, oh, it's unbelievable. So hopefully this time we can actually get out and do a bit of exploring. But Hypnosis Festival itself was one of the best festivals I've ever been to. Like it was unreal. I got to meet Les Claypool, like shook his hand and said how big a fan I was of Primus, and then watched their set, and it just blew me. Yeah, mind blowing. So good. Everyone was amazingly friendly as well. So it was a great weekend to be there.
That's great to be able to, you know, shook hands like as a colleague, maybe, you know, from one of the greats as Les Claypool. Man, what's the inspiration? You, as main vocalist of the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets and guitarist, where where do you find or how do you find inspiration in order to create?
I think it always comes like if I try and push it, nothing happens. And I think that's sort of something I've learned over the years. Like you can almost hear it on a lot of songs that I've gone like, oh, like kind of just wrote that for the sake of writing it. But recently, I think it's more when I give myself a little bit of time and I sort of allow a break in such that I can focus more on how the songs are going, and I get just I don't know. There's an excitement that I just need to capture that I feel like that's where the best songs come from. Just when it's natural. Do you know what I mean? You can really hear that.
Yeah.
And so this newest record, I've sort of got a really good idea. But I've got obviously we're flying off tomorrow morning, so it's I'm in the middle of like this great sort of I don't know inspirational mood at the moment where I'm like, no, don't let me go. But like I mean, I can't wait to go on tour. But it's I'll have to wait till August when we're back to carry on riding.
Yeah. But your new baby from Soli, right? So great album. But you guys have been creating really cool and really, I think, my humble opinion, and of course, a lot of fans in the world, really cool work, man. You know, from High Visceral to now, how does the band or maybe you, Jack, has evolved in creativity, maybe because you're that I listened, of course, to the work, and I think you're the same guys, but obviously, years go by. So what would you say is the main difference between the Jack now and the Jack from the High Visceral times?
Yeah, I think back in the day it was like I had no idea what I was doing. Not to say I even know what I'm doing now, but there was just very much like a young angst and a sort of kind of wanting to prove something. Do you know what I mean? I was like, everything has to be like 60 tracks on one song, and there's like all these different bars overlaying. It's got to have strings, and there's like got to be an orchestra. I think now I've sort of got to the point where it's like I'm almost at the bottom of like not knowing and kind of coming back up and be like, all right, like that guitar part works because you can hear it, and more in the production side of things. Definitely getting a better drum sound. I think that's taken me a good 10 years. So yeah, like working with Jelly, and when we do work on records, I think it's like putting together what is the best I don't know. I suppose I've always loved the album. I think getting from what song, I don't know, going from song to song to song has never really I don't know, tickled my pickle. So it's been more like I just want to work on one big whole project, and it's never lost its fun. I think that's what it is. It's still like my main hobby, and I just love doing it. I think I wouldn't be doing anything else if it wasn't as successful as it is. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad it's doing all.
but you said it, you said perfectly. You haven't been bored. You're still having fun doing this. So this is, well, of course, a powerful reason to keep creating. As a guitarist, favorite guitarist on earth for you?
Man, obviously Mars Volta. What's his Rodrigo Lopez is amazing. Yeah, so
And you had the chance also to meet him, I suppose, at
man,
the
I did. I
earliest.
saw them, but they were running around trying to hide from me. I was like, come on. Yeah, yeah. The obviously, I mean, we went and saw Tosin Abasi, who plays in Animals as Leaders, and we were fortunate enough to watch them a few times on a boat. And I was like, that is in the next record that I'm writing at the moment. I'm trying to showcase, like, because a lot of the time I was like, play chords, be humble, like,
Oh.
no one is. That was always a thing. And then when I watched Animals as Leaders, I was like, oh my god, now
No
I'm
one
going
needs
out.
another. No one needs another guitar hero, you know.
Yeah, no, but when I saw him play, I was like, there is so many notes in that song, but it made sense, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going that way. And then obviously there's, I mean, millions. Ruben Nielsen from Unknown World Orchestra has been #1 for years, just because he
Okay.
did some sad things, but like evolved on it and
And the
still gets.
sound, and the sound. You hear that guitars, and you know everywhere you are, you know the
Yeah,
band. Yeah,
man,
that's
it's
amazing. I
sick.
get it.
I could talk because for a long time didn't really like guitar was kind of it got not boring, but I was like, there's too many things I don't know what I'm doing. And then now I've gone back and I'm starting to like learn other bits and try and evolve it. And I know like it's become my like focus again, where I'm just sitting noodling, just being like, all right, how do I get better? And I think for a
Okay.
while I just thought about recording, but now I've gone back to the instrument. Even going back listening to Santana, man, I'm just like, oh, dude, that first record they put out is unreal.
Yeah. Of course. And from Australia, not from Perth, but from your country, uh, which guitarist or musician inspired you in order to become yourself, man?
The first one was obviously Kevin Parker, like Tame Impala, like being from Perth. I think at that time we were like, what, like you can be a band that goes and travels internationally. It was always like you were just gonna play destined for the pub down the road. You know what I mean? On a Tuesday night, you get 10 people in, and then that was your sort of band history. And then you go do work or whatever in the week. But when Pond started to jump in on that as well, and they started to tour internationally, and then you had King Gizzard start touring internationally, you're like, oh my God, like there's a big music scene happening coming out of Australia. And now you've seen it with Courtney Barnett and
Yeah.
Hiatus Coyote, Mild Life.
One of the best shows I've seen lately. Well, uh, almost 2 years now, but Hayat Coyote, what a band.
Man, unbelievable. Like,
What a
I
band.
think that was when we sort of realized what like proper musicianship was. We were like, oh, nah. Like, and seeing like Napalm with her voice as well, how it just all congeals together and creates this. It's beautiful music. It's unbelievable. Like,
That's
huge
great.
inspiration.
And I remember, of course, Silverchair, one of the
Yeah.
most famous band, of course, classical for you, classical for us, for everyone. And related to all these guitar heroes, let's say, what's your weapon of choice as, you know, as someone of them inspired you? What do you use, man? What do you like to
Uh,
use?
I've just got this new like Kurt Cobain Jaguar from
Oh,
Fender. It's like, yeah, and I've just tuned that to drop C, and like it's beefy as like anything. But I've always used a Jazz Master. But I think like going in through when I record, it's like just Ableton. And I started buying a bunch of pedals, and then I was like, man, I'm gonna need like a PhD to really record what I need to know, how it's going on. I need a better room, I need this. So I've just been using like Guitar Rig and feeling around, and it's sort of become. So I was talking to someone. I was like, I really love like a fully Queens of the Stone Age, Josh Homme amp tone, like getting that like Kaya sound. And then I think someone was like, yeah, but you sound like you've got that computer thing. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? So it's sort of like, I'm trying to find a balance now, how I mean, there's a million ways that a guitar can sound. And
Yeah, of
so
course. The
trying to,
difficult part is choose a sound, right? Because there's so many
yeah,
possibilities, beautiful possibilities. The beautiful part maybe is to decide or when to quit also in a production, right?
yeah, that's it.
No, not to
But
quit, not
that's,
to quit, sorry, to stop, to stop.
oh yeah,
To,
exactly. When's
to
something
stop.
finished? When
Yeah.
is something
What
finished? That's the biggest question. You never know.
I question myself, Jack. Do painters think of this
Oh
when
yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
painting? I think, of course, right? And then I question the ballet writers and the architects. So I think it's part of the
I
rhythm,
think
right, of
everyone
art.
does. I think it's just the human curse that you never like really. No one likes their own thing. I think that's also like maybe if you're Da Vinci, you'd be like, "It's finished. That's my masterpiece." But I don't know. I'd still be going at like her face for the next 100 years, being like, "Nah, man, she's not done yet." Like putting on some different colored eye makeup or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think you need someone to look over your shoulder every now and again and show other people. And I think that's also a good feeling is like release day or when you show someone some music or something and they have that response. And it's either if they kind of go like a little bit hesitant, I'm like, scrap it, it's gone. But if they're like, oh well, and they listen to the end, I think that's when I know
Yeah.
I'm kind of onto something there. So it's definitely bouncing off of other people, trying to find out when it's gone.
That's great. And talking to you now, a lot of things make sense, you know? Regard
Yeah.
that makes sense to me because of the music, right? Is it true that you guys met through a dealer?
Made a dinner.
Is it true that you guys met through a dealer?
Oh yeah, that is
Through
100% true. Yeah, that is. Yeah.
through your dealer, right? I think maybe the five of you, not the original bass player, of course, I suppose.
Yeah, it was me and Luke, so yeah, the guitarist, and then from there
Ah,
we sort
sorry.
of
Yeah.
started jamming. But the old drummer Danny, we had a band beforehand, and we were like, I think Danny was like 15, I was 17. We couldn't even play, like we had to leave after the show because we weren't allowed in the pub, so we'd like play our set, and then we're like, all right, get out. And so yeah, you were like, oh man, like I can't wait to be 18. And then I think we were probably about 19, 20 years old before Porn Crumpets really like became a
Okay.
project. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm 31 now, so man.
Great, guys, that you have a lot of luck, or maybe it's faith, or whatever you want to call it, or just the vibes, the super ultra cool vibes, to meet these talented people, willing to work, willing to commit, willing to create, willing to travel, to invest, because that's a band, right? After years,
Yeah.
it's a teamwork, right? So I think you are pretty lucky, guys,
Oh,
because
cheers,
I
man.
thought people you met through your dealer, you know what I mean? People you
Yeah,
met,
yeah, yeah,
must be,
yeah.
we must do some questions about it. The kind of people you met through your dealer. So I think that's great, man. So from Soli, Jack, I think you are, as you said before, really, really excited. And that vibe of showing the new to the crew, it's amazing.
Oh, thank you very much, man. No, I really appreciate it. It's like, and that's the pep talk I need to hear when we're about to do like a 4 month tour. So I'm just like, all right, doing it.
Yeah, because yeah, you are a really interesting band, and I think that this kind of music or this type of genre, maybe it's totally necessary in this day and age. What do you think about the idea Nina Simone had, that the artist has the responsibility to show or to talk in some way about what's happening in the context of the world? I think bands like you guys, who makes us all want to just kick the shit out of ourselves with beautiful music, in the dance floor, is one of the greatest form of, speaking or expressing yourself.
Oh, cheers, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it because it's sometimes like you're like we should be more serious. We should do something that. But I think if you just keep it fun, some people can hear that. And I think that's like it's it's nice. I can just be silly all day long and express that through the instruments or whatever. And I think now it's like all right, like I enjoy it. I definitely it's nice. You just be a child with a paintbrush flicking shit all day. So yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I don't remember who wrote this phrase, but it said something like, if you want to create, you have to play, but you have to play with the seriousness that a child plays with.
I think that's John Cleese said that, hey?
I don't
From Monty Python.
remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember seeing him do something, but Monty Python, oh, that's a massive influence too.
Yeah, super, super great. Man, a few quick questions, in order for our audience to get to know you better. You have the gauntlet from Thanos, and you can, disappear half of it with your, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to decide which one disappears, okay?
Which
Rolling
one?
Stones,
I
which one
actually,
which one would you disappear with them from history?
I didn't watch the movie, but I know, is it, what do you have to do with the gauntlet?
You have just snap it and something disappears from history like that.
Oh God,
So,
that's like, all right,
well,
all right, what am I gonna disappear
Rolling
from?
Stones or the Beatles?
Rolling Stones, they're gone. Yeah, no, I'll take the Beatles all day long. We'll leave the Beatles alone.
Okay. Okay. Radiohead or Queens of the Stone Age?
Queens of the Stone Age, I'll have to keep Radiohead around.
Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd?
Pink Floyd, Zeppelin is staying. Definitely Zeppelin is staying.
Shakira or Rosalia?
Man, I don't know Rosalia, but I know Shakira and she's banging. So definitely, like, she's got some tunes. Yeah.
Okay, man. Great. So, thank you for your answers. What would you say to someone who has never listened to the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets and is going to go to the show? How would you describe what it is?
And it's just a big ball of adrenaline. Like, that's pretty much what we're aiming for. And it would be sweaty. So maybe bring a towel. And, pack your wellies. Like, it's going to get a bit wet and hot. So, and it's loud. It's keen.
That's the headline for the article for this interview. It's
Bring
gonna
a
get
towel.
sweaty. Bring a towel.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for doing my work.
no
Okay,
problem.
man. We gotta start, saying goodbye. Thank you very much. It's great to talk to you. So people are waiting for you here in Mexico. Last question. If you could have anyone, there's this big show happening, you go inside because of the encore is coming, and you can come back to the stage, in this magical night with whomever, dead or alive, for a live, collaboration. Who is that artist?
Man, I think bringing it back full circle, I'm going to have to bring Santana on stage, just be like shred for like half an hour. We'll just give him some tunes and he just come out and just, yeah.
That's a great answer. And I gotta feel proud because he's Mexican, Mexican American, but Mexican.
All right, yeah. Oh man,
thank you very much, Jack, for your time. We're gonna be seeing you soon. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're all good. Just say thank you for taking the time to interview me. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. We're gonna be seeing you there on May the 1st at the IndieRocks, one of the most important and coolest places to watch music here in Mexico City. So it's going to be great. Leo Moreno para el Depósito Sonoro. Como siempre, pandilla. Muchas gracias. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
See you soon.